The incredible forests of Tasmania have been gently tucked away in a part of the world time forgot, with temperate rainforests thriving in a self-sustaining harmony since the time of Gondwana some 500 million years ago.
My best kept secret.
Home to rare species of trees and animals found nowhere else in the world, including myrtle, sassafras, and Eucalyptus regnans. A hardwood that can grow over 110 meters and live for over half a millennium, meaning that many around today could have remembered when Captain Cook landed and exclaimed,
"Yes! This was worth the trip! There's hopping dogs! I've discovered opposite land! At last, a reason to put shoes on me hands!"
Hang on, I'm tall enough to see what's going on in New South Wales. Let me verify this. Nah, it's just a kangaroo. Put your shoes back on, mate.
And after decades of appallingly reckless logging in which 85% of these mighty trees were felled to make wood chips,
Only the best.
the historic Tasmanian Forest Agreement was finally signed in 2012, which promised 500,000 hectares of protected forests, while the logging industry rejoiced as well, as it allowed them to expand and create jobs for the first time in years.
A total disaster, according to newly elected Premier Will Hodgeman, the love child of Jeannie Little and the Melbourne Luna Park face. Oh, darlings, I'm sorry, I just don't believe in abortion, love.
His face never changed after that. The same. I don't care what you think of me, Dad. I'm making jobs our #1 priority.
Well, no!
Yep, our plan focuses on growing the industry, not appeasing environmentalists.
And so, just to not appease environmentalists, Will Hodgeman has decided he has a mandate to rip up the Tasmanian Forestry Agreement,
Despite the vast majority of Tasmanians not backing the Liberal forestry plan.
The people have spoken, and it's against me, but I'm still going to go ahead with it because I'm from the Liberal Party.
And 2 days after the election, industry leaders, unions and environmentalists all came together to reaffirm their support for the agreement, which many loggers welcomed as much as the Greens did, because it ended over 30 years of struggle and created a stable base of international buyers for Tasmanian timber.
Oh, loggers and environmentalists agreeing on something can't be a good thing. I know what I'm doing, more than literally everyone else.
Because, get ready for this.
Presenting Will Hodgman's ironclad PhD understanding of economics.
More wood equals more jobs. And Will Hodgman has won in a landslide. What else can you expect from a state that is 50% illiterate?
Well, you can expect that. You can also expect that when we were looking at Harry Potter books in Big W, we said to the store clerk,
Would you like to buy a copy? Sounds special.
No, I'm just gonna wait until the movie comes out, but thank you. These are the fair dinkum Aussies Hodgman claims gave him his mandate. I may not know how to read, but I know what the economy needs.
Good on you, Rusty Pete. You, as well as a huge majority, 1/3 of Tasmania, believe in Hodgman's forward-thinking economic recovery plan, which is to go backwards by propping up an unsustainable dying industry that got Tasmania into its high unemployment rate mess in the first place by gambling the state's future on investing everything it could in plantation, wood and timber industry deregulations.
Hey, are you suggesting that we're a banana republic? Because that is offensive. We're a wood chip republic. It's a different commodity.
And those wood chips create jobs. 0.5% of jobs.
Worth destroying the most pristine forest on the planet to employ 0.5% of toothless hicks. Especially when the Tasmanian logging industry can only survive with government handouts, which as of 2007 received over $780 million in ideological bailouts and hidden subsidies. Which as soon as that unconscionable flow of squandered taxpayer money began to slow to a trickle, the billion-dollar behemoth guns withered away into administrative control, which for years before that ran at huge losses of hundreds of millions of dollars. Also, CEO John Gay, who was recently found guilty of insider trading, could continue to make exuberant profits by destroying some of the only virgin temperate rainforests left on the planet using his unfathomably large corporate welfare dollars, not to retrain his staff in preparation for its inevitable collapse, but on advertising to convince his illiterate henchmen that
You can't get retrained in another job. You're a hick. Now saw Cletus!
Oh, well, at least I'll be heaps practice for the Easter show wood chopping contest.
Congratulations, mate. Second prize.
I'm not good at anything.
But perhaps that's all old news for a man who looks way too much like Hexus from Fern Gully for it to be a coincidence that he seems to also get a perverse pleasure out of generating conditions that are conducive to acid rain and environmental dead zones. So here's the bottom line for what Tasmania gets for turning its envy of the world forests into wood chips.
Jobs!
Ooh, very antsy for that mediocre paycheck which is needed to waste on alcohol in an attempt to forget that.
Oh, I do one repetitive motion all day on the arse end of the planet. My life sucks.
So, got your word, didn't I? Promise kept.
Yup, technically, as Hampshire Wood Chip Mill was the largest in the Southern Hemisphere and processed over 1.2 million tonnes of trees a year.
Do you know how many people relied on that mill for work? 12. Do you know how much of the wood chipping profits stay in Tasmania? 15%. Exactly. Bottom line, it created jobs!
Which, according to the way Hodgeman's been paid to think, can only come from napalming one of the most unique ecosystems on the planet, surviving hundreds of millions of years in every hostile condition Mother Nature could throw at it, all to end up as an abysmal Urukai pit, cutting back on education and health because God forbid the orcs should ever learn just how exploited and bamboozled they've been by the logging and mining industries of Tasmania, which, now that the forest agreement is in tatters, can go back to the good for the chosen few business as usual descent into corruption so vile it would make third world dictators shout at their television sets.
This is not okay! Somebody needs to bring these criminals to justice!
While the international boycotts once again begin to pile up higher than their rotting, unmovable lumber stacks as these knavish parasites of modern industry sit seething in frustration, wondering why the rest of the world can't in good consciousness use a forest with trees in it that were saplings thousands of years before the pyramids were even built for mulch and printing paper.
What do you mean? Of course you can. You just put it in the printer. It's easy.
Will Hodgman, not worth the paper he's printed on.
Please press the subscribe button now.
Come on.